Elentila lumeno mentielvo. Welcome to Tolkien on Tap. I'm TJ. Grab a drink and enjoy. Almia.
Cool. We read Lord of the Rings with my Tolkien book club last year, and just like all the little like smatterings of references, like comparing Theoden and Snowmane to Orome, and like,
Yep.
you know, if I were reading it in the 50s or the 60s or whatever, I'd be like, well, who's Orome?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I want to
Oh,
know.
man. I didn't even
really
realize.
was-
Yeah.
He really was really good at just dangling a carrot and then being like,
Well, you got to publish the Silmarillion to figure out who Calagon the Black is.
Right.
Yeah, that's another one. Like just like references
He
to
does.
just
He's
little
straight up.
throwaway references that
Little
you're just
Florida
like,
references.
He does straight up
I'm
just
like,
name drop a lot and move along.
oh my God.
It's kind of funny. Got to watch your feet when you're reading Lord of the Rings. Tolkien does drop a lot of names.
Thinking
Yes.
about like people reading Lord of the Rings as it was published is like literally, like, I'm not joking, is my Roman Empire. Like, I think about people reading like Lord of the Rings in the 50s, and like specifically like the cliffhanger at the end of Two Towers.
Oh yeah.
Then they had to wait like 11 months.
Yeah, even longer than was planned because of the damn
Fucking
appendices.
torture.
Oh my God.
Torture.
No, I have a friend who like
What do you mean Frodo's dead?
I tweeted this once. I'm like, how did you survive? And he goes, we didn't. We were pissed. We're like, what the hell is all of this? We need to know what this is. We need to know who Orome is. And lo and behold,
I kind of
would
love to live during that, just to like have that thirst of like, I can't figure this out, and like I have to, like, I want to know, but like I can't know because like that's probably why a lot of the people, there's a lot of letters like, can you explain this, and this? Like there's this one letter towards the end, it's like 340 something, where this guy literally lays out like 7 different questions in like multi-paragraph form, and Tolkien answers every single one of them.
Nice.
Which is amazing. Yeah. Like that man loved to info dump when someone started to understand at least a little bit of his work.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like not
he and
just
Lewis
like
both. He and Lewis both.
I don't know much about
answer.
Lewis. I
know they both love
Narnia.
to answer the fan letters, and they
Okay.
love to, especially like I just read a graphic novel, Myth Makers, and they both love to answer their fan mail just so that they could talk about their work.
Yeah, talk about info dumping. They were, you know what? That's one of the cutest things about the letters. And I'm not saying that like to be like coy or whatever. I don't know why that's the word I chose. It just was.
This is cute.
Yeah. Well, it is really adorable that from like letter 4 is when I first noticed it. Like Tolkien, like first of all, he makes fun of himself for doing certain things. Like he calls his little fairy language, and that it's like I don't remember the exact words, but he says, you know, it's like a waste of time and nobody will care, you know. And then he'll constantly call himself verbose and pedantic, which, you know, same dude. Um, and when he finds out that people actually like his work with The Hobbit, like he's floored. And then he's floored when The Lord of the Rings is also gaining like even more traction. And then he's like even more floored when people like enjoy the appendices, because before it was released, he talks about like, I don't know why I'm making appendices. Nobody's gonna care. And then after it's released, he's like, interesting. People like that. That's kind of cool.
Yeah. And not only do we care, we will produce some more fantasy writers who will do the same exact thing. And we will even produce a new RPG. We will introduce the concept of RPGs where you literally have to build your entire backstory.
Yeah.
So,
at least how many times did you read the appendices, Elise? You did talk about that earlier.
Oh gosh.
You said you got obsessed with them, right?
No, that was Gia.
That was Gia? Listen, my drinking is out of control. So
me.
I'm gonna redirect that question. Gia, how many times did you read the appendices?
I mean, I don't know. And enough to get a tattoo on my freaking back.
Enough to give yourself a tramp stamp.
I do want to see if you can you retranslate it for yourself, like in like
Really
5 minutes?
I really could not. So I remember, so like Luthien Tanuviel was my favorite character, still is.
Okay, fair.
I was obsessed with the idea that like her dad was like, you have to like kill this guy dude to get her hand, and he failed, and she was like, you know, fuck it, I can do it with my dog.
Because again,
you know,
fuck it, Luthien Gall.
Yeah.
Fuck
right?
Elfingle.
And then somehow he gets all the credit, like whatever.
Listen, this is already going to my head. Jen, let's calm down.
Uh,
It's my own fault though. Sorry, Kia.
You set up the game. Don't set
I
up the
did.
rules if you can't take the hate.
You're right. I'm sorry. Well, I'll take another drink for that, I guess.
So I do remember it was like her name in Elvish and then my name, and but then now it's been so long ago and that it's like kind of all melded together, so it kind of looks like like just a blob.
So did you like use the Tangwar to like to write your name out, or did you take the meaning of your name and find the Elvish words that would mean that to make your name,
I think
and then get it written in
I
Tangwar?
think I took the alphabet and learned the letters and translated like the English letters into like
Okay.
letters. So it wasn't like a direct like I didn't take like so Angela means angel. I didn't take angel like the English word angel and translate it to like the Elvish word angel. I just took the letters, I think.
What is the Elvish word for angel?
Yeah,
Does anybody know
Ainur.
offhand?
advanced.
I know. Is that really? Is that? Oh yeah, because Vala means power.
Yeah. I mean, I would imagine it's something like only because
I gotta get my Silmarillion to double check
get the
real quick.
Silmarillion to double check. Do not
Yeah.
quote me on that.
And remember,
Just-
like
I'm quoting you. It's in print now. This is not print. I don't understand what words are.
and like
It's on the internet, it's forever.
let's remind everyone that I was a child when I did this.
but
my-
it's cute.
So I mean, maybe Ainur means the holy ones.
and my
It does
tattoo
mean the holy ones.
my tattoo artist now
What does angel mean though?
he's like, are you sure you don't want to cover this up now? And I was like, no. We must learn from our mistakes. But I don't think it's a mistake. I loved Tolkien so much that I thought this was like worth, time and money, and like, yeah, I don't know.
I mean,
And when Lord of the Rings came, so this is crazy, and this is actually a question I want to ask all of you. Like, when you first got into Tolkien, like, did you have like Tolkien friends that you talked about like Tolkien with? Because like that didn't really happen for me until the movie came out, and then people were like, I also like Tolkien. Like, how crazy,
same.
Honestly, like it just kind of happened tangentially. Like I had friends and we would go to see the movie together and we would talk about it later. But it wasn't a meeting of the minds until I joined Signum. And then that's when I realized, oh, my nerd card is way like low. This is like I know nothing compared to what these guys know. Like, holy
Right.
cow.
That's how I feel with every single guest that comes on here.
Yeah. That's why I said don't quote me on that, DJ, because Lord knows I get stuff wrong, especially when it comes to Silmarillion all the time.
No, listen, I didn't ask you all here altruistically. I'm just trying to siphon knowledge out of you so
Yes.
that I can seem smarter.
You're Saruman. You're Sarumaning us.
I mean, he does have a fabulous coat of many colors. Is he
Indeed.
Joseph?
He is handsome.
No, he's
He is
Donny
smart.
Osmond.
He's a
He's a
walking
work of art. I'm so glad someone did that. Thank you so much for that,
You're
Jen.
welcome.
That was amazing.
It's my favorite musical of all time. So
That's the first musical I ever saw.
it's got to be one of the first ones I've ever seen. So yeah.
Speaking of musicals, I so badly need to see the Lord of the Rings musical. I live like
It's
a half
so
hour.
good. Oh my
I live a
God.
half hour away from Chicago. My
Oh,
cousin,
it's so good.
my younger cousin, like
So good.
tangentially knows someone knows the person who played Gollum. Like I
He
met
was
the person.
amazing. Oh my God.
So
Phenomenal.
and
So
like so
good.
I started doing like all this Tolkien content, whatever, and I went and hung out with my younger cousin, and she asked me about like, have you seen the Lord of the Rings musical? I'm like, I just found out it existed not long ago, and she goes, yeah, it's gonna close soon, and I was like, I don't think I'll be able to, go before it's gone. And a friend came over and she was like, oh, this is my friend. Well, I can't remember what her name was. I'm a terrible person. What was her name? Doesn't matter. But she was like, oh, hey, what's up? And my cousin goes, oh, he's a huge Lord of the Rings nerd. And she goes, oh, I know Gollum. And I was like, Andy Serkis Gollum? Like Gollum? She goes, no, the musical. I was like, oh yeah, we were just talking about that. Yeah.
Oh my God.
And yet I have not seen that. It's
It
like
was
it's like
phenomenal.
intersectionally things I love so much, and I dropped the ball.
Yes.
Then you know what? Let me tally that up. Let me tally that one up.
Tally it. Tally it.
We're at 5, by the way.
I remember hearing the soundtrack. I still have the soundtrack. And I heard it in high school, and I literally double checked with another friend because he was very much more well versed in the Elvish than I was. So I'm like, is this accurate? And he's like,
Wait, how old is this musical?
well, the first
2005.
Five?
6
2006?
What is wrong with me that I'm just learning about it 20 years later?
It technically premiered on the West End
Yeah.
in 2008.
Okay.
And it had a very short run in London.
Yeah.
Well,
It
I
was
guess
London,
at Tottenham, and then it
Toronto,
was
and
Toronto,
one
and
other
then
place.
and then as far as I know, it was just London, Toronto, and then they did some pretty serious revision, and then it did its Chicago run, and then went to New Zealand and is now in Australia with a different cast. So the Chicago cast went to New Zealand, but then they recast for Australia. But yeah,
So it's gone
definitely
through.
a different show than it was in like the late aughts.
Yeah.
It's like they've changed some things, which is
It
kind of
was-
a bummer because
Yeah.
I was hyped to see Galadriel come from the
hyped.
ceiling on aerial silks, and that did not happen. And I
That's
was really
interesting.
bummed.
Oh yeah, it was basically Cirque du Soleil.
Yeah,
Lord of the Rings
it
Cirque du
was
Soleil was the original production.
You know what? That fits though. That fits.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like the
It was
Hobbit,
also
not the
almost 4
Hobbits,
hours
the-
long. Like it was long.
4 hours long.
Even
I
though
feel
like
none of
that's
the
too
songs
short.
have to do with Two Towers, like there were almost no Two Tower songs except for the Battle of Helm's Deep.
Oh,
Yeah.
let me ask. Speaking of two towers,
Oh,
which towers do you think are the two towers? Personally, don't think of the letters. Which two ones do you think personally?
I mean, I mean, you have to remember, like, the movies were my first exposure, but like,
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
feel like with the like kind of like sort of alliance, not really, like one-sided alliance. One person thought it was an alliance, the other person was like, like,
yeah.
like
Sauron
with
totally was in a
Saruman and
one-sided
Sauron, like I think that Orthanc and Barad-dûr like
Yeah.
makes sense to me.
Yeah, all answers are valid, by the way, because Tolkien has said every tower. I was just wondering.
Yeah.
Like he literally at one point said like it could be this. He names every single tower.
Mhm.
Not
That's just
every
his
single
way
one.
of saying I have no idea. I just slapped on a title and hoped for the best because this was supposed to be one giant book.
Yeah.
I'm-
Gia, which towers do you hold in your heart when you
I
think of the two towers?
This might be a stupid question, but I was like, what other two towers are there?
That too.
There's a few.
I mean,
Thank you,
Tolkien has said that it was like Minas Anor, aka Minas Tirith, and Minas Ithil, which is now
Mhm.
Minas Morgul,
Right.
and like the opposition of those two cities. He's like listed a bunch.
So he said it was it could be Isengard, and I think initially he said he saw it as Isengard and Cirith Ungol, the tower at Cirith Ungol,
Mhm.
because that's where the stories stop. And I mean, so like that's how I feel as well before I read the letters. So he said that initially. He said it could be Minas Tirith and Minas Ithil in opposition, like Jen said. It could be Orthanc and Barad-dûr, because Sauron and Saruman are like the forefront of the story there. I mean, Sauron's the bad guy the whole time, but yeah, Saruman's the bad guy the whole time too, but not the bad guy.
Saruman's the obvious bad guy that walks around with the twirly mustache, whereas Sauron is the puppet master in the background.
Okay,
Mhm.
so if I don't, to anybody listening or watching, if there is a Tolkien fan out there who is an artist, if you can please make a Sauron with like a Dirk Dastardly, is it Dirk or Dick? I don't know, Dastardly, with like that kind of like thin handlebar mustache, twirling it, I will pay you.
Mhm.
Name your
Mhm.
price.
Mhm.
Not above. Make a stick figure. It's good enough. You know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna make stick figures. It's fine. Never mind. Figured it out.
It's got to happen.
Yeah. How do you see it? The two towers, or do you even care?
I
'Cause,
mean, it's
I know
always
a lot of
been-
people don't care.
No, I mean I don't, but I've always seen it as Orthanc and Barad-dûr. But again, it's because of the films, like because that was my
Yeah.
first exposure. But it's Tolkien, and sometimes anything goes. You can always come up with more theories as long as as long as you can present evidence. And sometimes I can't present evidence. Sometimes it's just my head canon,
Yeah.
like
How-
Saruman with the twirly mustache.
I need to see it now. Maybe I'll just maybe when I'm done doing this, I'll just go create it myself and like I think it's Dick Dastardly.
I think it's
Take-
Dick Dastardly. Yeah.
Yeah, take Dick Dastardly's face and put it on Christopher Lee's body.
Oh my
Just-
god!
Just
May
take
he
the
rest in peace.
mustache part.
Just
though.
the mustache.
You know how
Just the
hard that will
mustache.
be? Do you know how hard that will be?
I would do that.
Can you
Okay.
do it? Can you
Has-
do it?
Yeah. Yeah.
How much money do you want?
The pleasure
I
of
gotta
being
pay.
on
I
your
gotta pay my.
podcast.
Listen, I gotta pay artists.
Yeah, with
Artists-
the pleasure of being on your podcast.
Oh,
Consider
that's
it
very
done.
that's very sweet of you. I really appreciate you. I don't. That's high praise. This is an honor. That's interesting.
Has everyone here seen War of the Rohirrim before I go on? I don't want to
have.
spoil anything. You have not. Okay, then I shall shush.
Oh, now I'm interested.
I got COVID
Oh,
No.
and it was in theaters in such a short time.
It was really
Mhm.
It
short.
really was. It's on Amazon. You can buy it now. I think you can rent it too.
You
I
can.
don't know. I'm like in this weird like holding pattern with myself where I'm like, it has to be perfect, and I have to be like at home in my in my Balrog sweater, like with my Lord of the Rings things. But then it's just like travel, travel, travel. Anyway, I just haven't had the time,
There's a Saruman moment.
and I can't just like watch it willy nilly on some random person's TV when I have the moment. It has to be like
Yeah, I get that.
Fair. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm bougie about like watching things. If I super want to see it, I will see it in a theater. I don't care
Same.
how people. Right, exactly, Jen. I don't care how people view. Like people are like, oh, I can have the same experience at home. I got surround sound. I got a big screen. No, that's not a
I
theater
mean,
experience.
I do. That's the thing for me is like, if it's not a movie that I like really want to see, I'm like, I want to fucking watch it at home with
Right.
my surround sound and my big TV that I can pause and go grab a snack or whatever.
Right.
Like when movies anymore, like if you're getting like popcorn and a drink, it's like for two people, it's like $40, $50.
Yeah.
It's
I'm
too
like,
much.
Yeah.
no way. Like,
Imagine
no
trying to
way.
get that Warhammer, which was 35. Well, that came with popcorn, but like in a separate
Mine
bag, and then you had
didn't.
to.
I saw
No, no,
that.
no, 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 no. In a separate bag because the Warhammer came in a
Yeah,
box you had to
no,
put together.
I bought 2 sets of each because I did my little giveaway on my Instagram. That
Yeah,
was
I
what I was
saw
saying.
that.
Like I was impressed that you did a trivia. I just had people follow me on Instagram. I
Oh,
was
that trivia was so fun to figure out questions for.
Oh my god.
Like so I did the trivia and I sent it to David and Lee and a couple other people and they sent back like those are really tough questions. I was like, I know, I wouldn't be able to get those had I not read like I literally had just read Unfinished Tales and got like most of the questions from there.
Oh
well,
my
now
And then
I
god.
like
want those questions
you want the
because
questions? Hold on,
yeah,
I
because
got them.
Oh
I
boy.
You want me to
we
you
do
want, I'll read them
trivia
on this.
events in my Tolkien book club like
Yeah.
fairly regularly, and I'm like because we're reading the Silmarillion right now, and I have like a
Okay.
Silmarillion trivia event planned at the end to sort of like quiz people on like what did you
Do
remember?
it.
So
Okay.
I
I
want it to
will
be tough because like
These some of these are ridiculous. Like I reading back, I'm like, I was a jerk. Why the fuck did I write some
He
of these
didn't want to
down?
give anything
I
away.
want it to be hard. I want it to be hard.
There's
I have set a
there's
precedent.
there's a couple of oh here you go popcorn. So the first two were like gimmies. Well, they should have been. Um, and I thought of them day of. I'm like, I got to make it a little bit more like about the movie. So I asked like who the director was. Do you know who that is? No.
Yes, obviously I
Kenji
know.
Kenji Kamiyama.
Yeah.
Who's the composer for War of the Rohirrim? Since I'm a musician and I can't let music
Shit,
go.
what was his name?
I know.
I don't
Oh, say it
remember.
if you know.
Stephen Galloway.
That's right.
Gallagher.
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 Damn it.
Yeah.
Well, you lose.
But I do know that he did get permission from Howard to use like the Rohan theme and stuff.
Yeah. All right. Here's
So-
where the actual questions where I had to like dig. But some of this is where like the actual like book
No,
information
see,
starts
TJ, you're
coming
gonna make
in.
me look stupid, and I don't want to look stupid on your podcast.
Okay, we'll all look stupid.
I'm pretty sure all three of you know more than I do, so it's okay. I know these because I read the books and I was like, "Oh, that's interesting. Let's find out." Okay, so how many years passed between Freka's demise and the attack by Wolf and the Dunlendings?
Oh damn.
Like,
So from the time I wrote it this way because I said this stuff on TikTok. So how many times from Freka being killed to Wolf attacking
Edoras.
Yeah.
My gut is saying 9, but I know that's got to be wrong.
Incorrect. I see you looking, Gia.
Oh,
You looking it up?
no, I wasn't. My partner texted me.
Oh, okay. I thought you were cheating over there. Not that we're like nobody's gonna win anything.
Was it 5?
Incorrect.
Dang.
Gia, do you have an answer? This is kind of fun doing this. I might just make trivia for every single one from now on.
Hey.
Let me write
Hey,
that
drunk
down.
trivia, you know, you'll get all kinds of crazy answers.
Right.
True.
See, here's the thing. I'm not gonna go any further, because if Jen wants to use this for her trivia, I don't want to give things away because
Yeah, because there are people in my book club who listen to this podcast. So
yeah. So that one was a gimme. Did I say
that one was a gimme, guys.
Did I say the amount of years? Listen. I should
No.
not have made this mead.
It's okay.
More.
So did I say the
No,
answer? I really
you
can't
You
remember.
did not say the answer.
We just
Fair-
know that 9 and 5 are incorrect.
Fair
Got
enough.
it.
Fair enough. Did you see that?
Maybe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There we go.
Mhm.
There we go. Okay. Fair
There
enough.
are certain people who will watch this, though. I'm
Fine.
looking at you, George.
To the people who watch, that was a gimme. You're welcome. If you win, I get 10%. Thank you.
Sweet.
That's non-negotiable, by the way.
You get a special title in my book club.
What did you say you're currently reading with your book
We're
club?
reading the Silmarillion right now.
Ooh, how far in?
We just got to Of Thingol and Melian.
Oh, that's my friend's favorite chapter. Let's all say hi, David, the Noldo.
Hi, David.
Hi, David.
Let's say fuck away Thingolo. Thingolo? I just said it wrong. I said it. You know what? I did the thorn like a Otter Finwan would.
That's
Fuck
right.
away Singly. I
Yeah.
can't say his name now. This mead is killing me.
Fuck I Lou.
Right?
There you
Fuck
go.
Of Thingol.
There we go. There we go. You know what? Let's talk about Finrod a minute. Nope, let's drink.
You just set yourself up so you could drink some more. Come
Yes,
on,
I did.
man.
You know what? Well, I'm trying to get.
I love all these like Tolkien
Trying-
book clubs that have started to happen. Like
Yeah.
you're reading the Silmarillion. There was another book club with Tolkien Tuesday, Miranda,
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
her tag on Instagram.
It's like Ex
Ex Libris Mir.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes. We were doing Fall of Gondolin, but then
Mhm.
it kind of fell off. But then also like I had Fall of Gondolin sitting on my shelf for years and like just never got around to it. Then because of her like I read it finally and I was like, yeah, that's amazing. But yeah, I'm so stoked. All these book clubs, Tolkien.
Not just book clubs. There's so many things going on, and like Rings of Power is a huge part of that. Like I wouldn't be doing stuff without Rings of Power. I
Yeah.
got super excited for like more Tolkien stuff that I couldn't contain it, and I was like, I feel like making stuff, and I did, and that's how I met everyone who all three of you here, and everyone else who's been on, and those who were are gonna come on, and everyone on. I'm gonna ramble. I'm just gonna stop. Thanks, Rings of Power season 2 specifically, except for episode 6. That's not my jam. I mean, it's fine if it's someone else's, but that's the only one. It's still good. It's just like in a world of like everything else in that season, that was a very mediocre one to me. Which it's fair. Like I said, if you like it, it's cool.
You want to hear something crazy? So we were
Of course I
talking.
do.
You were. I think we kind of without. Oh, there was no prompt. But we kind of all talked about where we were when the movie came out
Mhm.
randomly. But you had mentioned TJ that like you all had seen the previews, right?
Yeah.
I hadn't seen the previews. I didn't know the movies were happening. But I remember I was sitting in a movie theater with my family, my entire family. We were watching a Harry Potter movie because my little sister was really into it. She's 2 years younger than me. I think at the time I was in college or high school, like senior maybe. And you know how the first movie preview starts. It's complete black
Mhm.
and she starts talking in Elvish.
Right.
And I could recognize at that point in my fandom, I could recognize Elvish. And as soon as she starts whispering, I look to my mother. She's my sister, and then my mom on the other side of her, and I just start crying. Because never in my whole life could I have it imagined that like we would ever see a movie. Like I don't think any of
Yeah.
them, like I'd never seen the preview. So I just look to my mom. I start crying, and she's like, "What? What?" She's like, "What's wrong?" And I was like, "It's Lord of the Rings." Like I was like, "It's Lord of the Rings." Anyway, it was
Did
like
you watch the
no.
Did you watch the other Did you watch the other previews after that? Like when Two Towers and Return of the King were gonna come out, did you watch those
Oh
previews?
yeah, absolutely. I mean, like I couldn't pay attention.
Oh, at that point you were like, well, nah,
I
man.
couldn't
Now
pay
I need to
attention to Harry
know.
Potter. I was like a mess. I watched I sat there, but then as soon as I like jetted out of the theater when the Harry Potter credits rolled, I was like, bye. And just like looked it up. Yeah. I was
Oh,
like,
like IMDb. Did you go to the IMDb? That's where I would go to like
Was
message
IMDb
threads.
even a thing back then?
Yeah, yeah, because I would go to the message boards there, and that's where you would get
Oh.
information. For that's how I did, anyways. Because I didn't
Yeah.
know the OneRing.net existed then.
Yeah.
Because I'm
I
really bad at searching things up.
like
I
I
was
passed
young
out.
enough and like my parents are like very religious and like strict. And so
Yeah.
like me getting on like forums was like absolutely not. Like that was
Oh yeah,
not a thing. Like and I desperately wanted to,
yeah.
but they were like, "You are 11 years old." No.
I mean, that's fair. Whether you're
Fair.
overly religious or
still
not,
had
like
dial-up.
forums probably aren't the best place
Yeah.
for 11-year-olds. Let's be honest.
I still had dial-up internet in high school, so like
Yeah.
like,
We had dial up at the time as well, so yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I think we had dial-up at that point too. 'Cause
We
I
had
was,
dial up until like 2007 or 8. It was bad.
Yeah.
I don't remember for sure, but I know I came out in 2001. I was
Mm-hmm.
16, and I was 17 for Two Towers and 18 for Return of the King, which I dressed up like Frodo. I am that
I
boy.
dressed up for Return of the King as well. I have a picture of
Who
me.
were you?
I just dressed up as like an elf.
Just
But
nice. That's
yeah, and I
awesome.
really wanted the Leaf of Lorien pin, but my mom was not willing to buy it for me because she thought that my Lord of the Rings obsession was a phase.
Joke's on you, Mom. Still going.
Yeah. So she downloaded a photo of it from the internet and printed it out on cardstock
Aw,
and hot glued it to a safety pin
that's
to make
sweet.
me a little Leaf of Lorien pin that I
That's
put on
super.
this little cape that I had, and then I had like a little bow, like a bow and arrow bow, not like
Yeah,
a,
yeah.
but like I had a little bow, and I had like my like horseback
Although
riding boots, and like yeah, I'll have to share the picture because
That's super sweet.
it's very
Speaking of that,
precious.
I got myself a brooch because I'm a super nerd and I bought a cloak for some reason, as if I'm gonna wear
Nice.
it constantly. And it
I have several cloaks, so
oh,
you
I
know.
got the one from
I
Nightweave.
was
I feel like I've dropped so many like business names during this. Like I can't believe
Gotta
I'm
get
not
some
sponsored like
sponsorship,
right
man. Like,
now.
I was a hobbit the first day at Dragon Con at my first con ever
Nice.
this last summer. So the cloaks is a thing.
Are you going this year?
I'm gonna go every year until I die.
I'm
fuck
going this
yeah.
year. This is gonna be my first con since
We're gonna do a meetup and just like
Wait.
the three of us,
Like
Tolkien
Dragon.
on Tap alumni. Yeah, Dragon Con this year.
yeah, I'm going to Dragon Con this year. I have my passes and everything.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be
same.
that idiot and drive down. It's only 10 hours away. It's not bad.
That's not bad.
No, for everyone who's not from America, 10 hours drive is
It is
not that bad.
yeah.
That's like
I
if you live in Texas,
regularly.
you'll still be in Texas.
Oh yeah.
Cause some California sometimes too. If like so I grew up in Illinois. Like Illinois from top to bottom is like 9.5 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's nothing.
That's nothing.
Yeah, well, because I've talked to Lee Silmarillion, and I was like, yeah, I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna drive to Westmoot, and she was like, how far is that? I was like, that's like I don't know 9 hours, and she's like, that's far, and I was like, that's not bad.
I
Like,
know. And then there's my ass considering driving 16 hours to Westmount. I'm probably gonna fly, but like,
oh,
just
you're going
like
to Westmoot too?
yeah.
Yes.
It starts on my fucking birthday. Of course I'm
Oh,
going.
fuck yes.
Yeah, so
So shots.
Saturday night we're doing like dinner for my birthday at Westmoot.
Nice.
And you should
Are
come.
we drinking as well?
Fuck yeah.
All right. Can I buy you a shot for your birthday? Do you do
Yes.
shots? Awesome.
Yeah.
All
Hell
right.
yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
I saw this Westmoot thing. So like I got off threads after Rings of Power because like I don't social media very much, but I got on threads for the Tolkien community.
Yeah.
I didn't know
Same.
y'all lived there. I didn't know Tolkien lived on threads. And when I found out, I was like, yeah.
Seriously.
But then I was like, okay, like not big on social media, took a break. But then I was like, I miss my Tolkien friends. So then I like came back. And then I saw this whole thing about like the Westmoot thing, and I was like, wait, what is this? And then that's when I messaged you because I was like, wait, what is this? Like, is this like invite only? Like, what's happening here?
Right. Right.
And
Is
then
everyone
it's like a Dragon Con for Tolkien people? Like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah, fuck
Are
yeah.
are you going?
'cause-
Go. You
Come
should
with us.
go. Elise, are you able to go?
I wish. No, I'm too poor.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Do not have money for travel other than my cousin's wedding right now. It's just
Fair enough.
You
No.
also have small humans
I
who
have a
abide
small-
in your house and suck up all your money. So
that is true as well.
I
Yeah.
appreciate that you
I-
said
I don't-
abide in your
Daycare
house.
costs. How is it that daycare costs more than my mortgage? Like, what?
stupid.
It's wild.
Stupid.
That's wild.
It's stupid.
I mean, I feel like I don't know what I was gonna say. This Meade is getting to me. It's been
It's
getting to
good
me for a little
mead.
bit.
It's good mead.
But, okay, wait. When is Westmoot?
It's
Westmoot,
May 9th through the 11th
May
in
9th.
Kansas City.
I gotta study because
Mother's Day weekend.
y'all are making me study.
Yeah, we will have just finished the Silmarillion with my book club, like right before
Ooh, that's
Westmoot.
perfect.
Yeah.
It's so funny though, because like I literally I used to be the loner. Like I didn't know any Tolkien people. Like I mean, I say like this is like pre-movies. We all
I feel like a
think
lot
we
of us
all
started
used to
out
be
that
kind
way.
of like isolated, you know? And then
Mhm.
because of the movies and social media, now we're all just like, oh, look at all these other nerds.
I love that like none of us are like ashamed of being nerds either.
Oh,
I
think that's
spent way
awesome.
too many years of my life being ashamed of being a nerd. I don't have
It's
Same.
fucking time
just
for
there's
that
no
anymore.
point. Just
now
Big
there's, like, it's
same.
great because now I actually have people to talk to and y'all talk back to me.
I presented I could see my students laughing as I was presenting like to the teenagers that I was hosting a Middle Earth club at their school. And like I could, these are 13-year-olds, they're like, oh, that's so dumb. And I'm like, guys, look, I'm a nerd, I'm aware of it, and I'm a nerd and I love it. And another student came up to me and is like, you should put that on a sign, Miss Cedeno. And I'm like, yes, I should. It's like I'm well aware that I'm a nerd.
Have
and
you?
I am
Do you have
too-
merch?
I do not know. God, no.
Why don't you
I-
make that?
Because I don't know how to make merch. I would if I knew how. I was
I'll
able
ask-
to make a logo on Canva. That's about it.
All you gotta do then is just you want to get like you just buy shirts and you have them put on, or you can put them on yourself like iron on stuff. Start off that way. Start
Could
small.
do that. Could do that.
Small acts of kindness, like Tolkien said. Small acts of merchandise. Wait a minute, he didn't say that one. I'm sorry. He hated
No,
consumerism.
that was what's his face? On the guy who made Spaceballs and goes merchandising,
Mel
merchandising.
Brooks.
Thank you, Mel Brooks.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Spaceballs 2, The Search for More Money.
Oh my god! I gotta say though, that was a damn smart idea of George Lucas to just just own the rights to all the Star Wars merchandising. Like
Yep.
that's how the guy made bank. Forget the movies. The guy made bank on the merchandising.
Yeah, he
Oh
did.
yeah.
Yeah, he did.
So when he sold, sorry, tangent here on into Star Wars.
So it's
No, it's all good.
When he sold Star Wars to Disney, did he not sell the merchandise rights?
I'm not sure how much of it he did.
I
But
think
like way back
No, I
in
think
the
he's still.
70s, like
Yeah,
he
yeah. It was like in his
retained the
original
merchandising
contract.
rights. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like his original
he-
contract for it.
He put it in the contract when they
And
first.
I think Steven
That's the movie.
Spielberg
Yeah,
is the one who suggested that
Yeah.
Yeah.
because they were
Probably.
friends. But well, I lost what I was gonna say. Never mind. Continue on.
merchandising.
Merchandising.
Oh, that's what I was
And-
gonna say. I'm pretty sure that he sold everything, but had in the I don't know for sure. I don't know 100%, but
Yeah.
it feels like George would have done this, where he sold it all. Like he doesn't own anything, but he gets a residual, like a percentage off of what the money they make.
Yeah.
That
That's
I still gotta eat.
feels. What's that?
I said the guy still got to eat.
Yeah, yeah. That 4 billion or however much
Yeah.
Lucasfilm was worth was not enough for him.
No, not at
Nope.
Yeah,
all.
you're right. You're right.
Never.
Was he becoming? Who's really rich in Lord of the Rings? Bilbo? No, he's not becoming Bilbo. Never mind.
No.
He's not becoming. He's not.
No.
I
showing
mean,
up.
Bilbo only took like not even his share. Like he took
I mean,
less than his share.
He
The
did.
thing that
From
you
the
have to
gi-
keep in
from-
mind is like, what is wealth in a gift economy, really?
That's
Like-
very true.
And this is all
You got some bangers tonight, Jen.
and this is all this is all speculation, but like Liv Tyler probably.
I mean, she's got, residual income from her dad. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, being a lead singer of Aerosmith probably pays a pretty penny.
Yeah.
Or at least it did.
Mm,
I mean, that band breaks up so often; it's ridiculous.
yeah.
Like
Well,
Joe Perry and Steven Tyler. Like, all right, so full disclosure, that was the band that introduced me into like rock and roll, like through my older cousin. So like that was my I want to be a rock star band.
mhm. Was it your gateway drug? Was it
my
your entish?
damn it, I forgot to use it. Thank you, Elise. Aerosmith was my gateway drug.
Aerosmith was your tree beard? What?
Aerosmith was my tree beard. They were very slow and methodical. That doesn't
Don't
make
be
sense at
hasty.
all.
Don't be hasty.
Yeah.
Don't ever be hasty.
No, Steven Tyler and Joe Perry fought so much that those two can't get along whatsoever. Like they make amazing music together, but they probably shouldn't be in a band together
Well, I mean,
anymore.
hello,
think-
look
actually, I
at
don't
Fleetwood Mac. Like,
Rumors.
yeah, rumors. God.
No, it's all true, Brett. Flight of the Concords. Have you seen Flight of the
Brit.
Concords?
No.
Brit. Yes.
Yeah.
Of course I have. Oh,
Okay, so the two of you who haven't, there's an episode where Britt and Jermaine are they in a music store, Jen?
mhm. I
They're
think
gonna
so.
they're doing something and they're talking about like one of them has a girlfriend and the other one like thinks she's cute or something like that. They're talking about like, well, you don't sleep with your best friend's mate, and the other one says, well, some of the best music's written on that. And then Reese Darby goes, oh, Fleetwood Mac. And I think it's Brett goes, oh, rumors. And Reese Darby goes, no, it's all true.
I love Reese Darby so much.
Reese Darby's amazing. I wish Reese Darby had also been in something in I want Reese Darby to show up in Rings of Power. I don't care what he is.
I wish they would all show up.
Reese
Yeah.
Darby can be Tom Bombadil's
We
brother.
need Jermaine in the Middle Earth cinematic universe.
It is a shame that Jermaine hasn't
It's
made
just
it.
Brit.
And Brit has been in 3 separate ones.
When Brett showed up, I was like, that's Brett. That's Brett.
It's Brit McKenzie. Also, Brett's father is Elendil.
Stop it.
Shut up.
Yeah, you didn't know that?
I did not know that. That's
Yeah.
a fun fact.
Lloyd
I didn't know.
Owens.
Brit
wait,
McKenzie's
wait.
father.
No, the
Which
guy who
Elendil?
played
I just
Elendil
have to see his
Oh, in the yeah.
in the prologue,
In the prologue.
That-
Yes. Thank
Okay.
you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I
who
should
does look remarkably like Lloyd Owen. Like they did a really good job casting both Lloyd Owen
and Gil
and
Galad.
Benjamin Walker
Yes.
as actors who look very similar to the actors who portrayed them in the
Oh
prologue.
my god.
Yes, agree 100%. Man, I cannot wait for season 3.
Oh my,
Oh my
god.
god.
I can't
Lloyd-
believe it took so long for them to announce it.
The way I am like foaming at the mouth. It's bad.
I can't believe it took them that long to announce. Remember when it was like we were like mid season 1 and they were announcing season 2?
I
And like
know.
this time around, like season 2 got like an even better reception and they waited like 2 months later, 3 months later to be like, oh, by the way.
BTS, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Also,
no, it
I wish they
doesn't-
would.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Elise, go ahead.
I was just gonna say it doesn't take much, but like Lloyd Owen just needs to look in my general direction and boom,
Same.
pregnant.
Mhm.
That's fair.
Same.
I understand that. I can't feel that on a spiritual level, but like I get it.
No,
I get
you
that.
you can. Pregnancy is a state of mind when it comes to Lloyd Owen.
Oh, well
Mhm.
then 100% same.
Mhm,
100%
mhm.
same. That
Yeah.
man's his smirk, his like one side smirk.
Stop it. It's the
Yeah.
voice.
Who's Brett's father? Sorry.
Oh, Brit McKenzie's
Brit
father.
McKenzie.
He plays Elendil in the Lord of the Rings prequel.
Prologue.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, prologue. Thank you, Jen.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Listen, you're the one that gave me this recipe for this mead, so
Not
you are
gonna-
kind of responsible for me right
I'm
now.
not sorry.
Not sorry.
Glitching in the matrix.
Right, exactly. This is the point of the podcast where we just devolve into nothingness.
Mhm, mhm.
Random, drunken, making fun of TJ-ness.
We're going into the void.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Straight through the doors of night. Straight through the doors of night.
Because we have been talking about Rings of Power and merchandising, although specifically with Star Wars,
I know where
like-
you're going.
I understand why, but it is so beyond fucking frustrating to me.
Yeah.
That there is no merch.
Do you know why it's probably like that?
I mean, I know why.
No, I'm
I
trying to
get
make a
it.
joke. Hold on. Just say, I don't know why.
I don't know why.
Probably because of Carnisteer. That was a joke for David. Let's see if he listens to this episode. Because if he doesn't send me a message, I'll be like, you don't listen unless you're on. Got
you
it.
don't
Right
love
on.
me. Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Nice,
me just be-
David.
See
You
how it
just be,
really
like,
is.
manipulative and passive aggressive.
Okay, Sauron.
Whoa.
Oh.
That's some high praise. Thank you. Have you seen how pretty Sauron is?
Oh
He's
my god.
gorgeous.
My
Although-
students for the
In
life
both
of
Yeah.
them.
forms.
The boa.
Yeah.
I didn't get it. Like season 1, I was like, I don't get it. Like,
Oh, you're not a
I
fan
don't
of the
get-
scruff.
No, because here's the thing. So I just didn't get it. Like, no shade to Charlie Vickers, like none at
Charlotte.
all. Yeah, to Charlie Vickers, like no shade. But like
Yeah.
in season 2, in the first episode, when he steps out of the cart and like he's got like the little like damp curls on his forehead and he sort of smirks, I was like, oh fuck. Okay.
Wait,
I get it.
he's still Hellbrand at that point.
Hell,
Yeah.
When you
Yeah.
got it.
It was just
it was
something
rain.
about the like
It was
damp curls
Did
on
like
his
November
forehead.
Rain start
And
playing
like
as
the
he
little,
stepped out?
yeah, the little like smirk on it, like the little smile as he like realizes that he has like a fully realized body again. I was like, God.
Oh, that part.
Yeah, when he
yeah.
steps out of the cart after like Blobron like attacks this woman.
Goop Sauron.
Spaghetti Ron.
Oops,
Goopy Sauron.
Guron.
We rep Goop Nation here.
Okay,
Oh, the
Guron. All right, but yeah, like I was like, oh, okay, I get it.
Well, I
get it.
think part of that is because it was like 2 years later he was filming. So, I mean, he clearly just looks different as a person. Like everyone looks different 2 years apart.
But it was a pretty curling iron. Like
I was just
whatever.
gonna
It was,
say,
it was
also
like
they
the,
did
the
his hair
dampness
different.
of the curls, like it just like, oh yeah,
Or
It
his
hit
wig,
you.
whatever it was.
it
It
hit
hit you in
like
all the
a
right places.
fucking freight train. I was like,
Yep. Okay.
okay, all right. I
Did you
see
have
it
to
now.
factory reset yourself?
Well, no, because originally, like, I won't devolve too much into this, but like originally,
No,
when
devolve, please.
when I first watched the season finale of season 1, like when it aired, I think deep in my heart of hearts, I knew that Halbrand was Sauron,
Mm-hmm.
and I just
Spoiler
didn't.
alert, everyone.
Yeah, sorry. It's
It's a
fucking
2-year-old show.
2.5 years old show, like
Right.
whatever. But like I wanted it to not be him so bad that like
Same.
when because I just feel like, and I've said this before, like I feel like the whole like, ooh, who is Sauron plot was just like so such a waste of time.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get back
But-
to that. I want you to finish your
But
thought.
when he says to Celebrimbor, consider it a gift, I was like, fuck you. And I like threw shit at my TV. I was so pissed. Because I was like, that was when I could no longer
Say the
deny
fucking
it.
name, dick.
And I was just like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, no.
Silver platter. Right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, I
Ugh.
agree
like
100%
me
with
yelling,
you.
like me yelling at my partner who's not Lord of the Rings. Like he's a Star Wars fan. He's
Yeah.
a Star Wars
I
fan.
don't, ma'am, I don't
When
understand
we're
why you're
watching-
screaming at me.
When we're watching Star Wars, like I grew up with the original trilogy, like 4, 5, and 6. Like
Yep.
Mhm.
when we're watching anything that's not 4, 5, and 6, he's like yelling at me, and I'm like, I don't care. When we're watching Lord of the Rings, I'm like gifts, Anatar, like blah, blah, like he's like, I don't know, I don't care. So like, yes, I hear you. Like I'm just like, there's so many clues. Like
Yeah.
But it just felt too like ham-fisted. And so I
so
didn't want it.
heavy-handed.
It was
Very.
so
heavy-handed.
heavy-handed. And so I just wanted
but-
to not be true. Like,
Was that heavy-handed because the Tolkien estate did not give the name over yet? Because I feel like that's probably why it was heavy-handed.
could be.
No, I think they always had like I think I will
don't
not quote
know.
I will not quote the source I got this from.
You do not have to. I'm
but
not.
the source informed me that they basically went to the estate and said, like, I know we don't have rights to X, Y, and Z. So, how are we gonna, present this particular person? And the estate was like, well, you just can't use their name. So should we call him Steve?
like, which names?
Well, but that's what I'm saying. Though at least is they didn't have the right to the name.
But then the Tolkien estate was like, oh, all right, fine, you can call him
Steve.
Anatar.
Sorry, but which sorry, yeah.
In season 1,
Anatar.
Season 1, yeah.
they were
Yeah.
allowed to in season 1.
I believe they were.
Oh, that makes me a little upset. I gotta be honest.
But it's also
because
like
I agree with you on the mystery box thing. Is
the mystery box was overused for sure.
I could not stand the mystery box with Sauron because why? And you're robbing us of Charlie Vickers acting because when you know what's going on and you can see how he's like, it's a better performance. Like his it's already a good performance, but when you know what you're looking for, like it's such a good performance.
Mhm.
The Gandalf one, at first I was a little irritated, but the way it ended, I really loved that payoff personally. Oh, Jen's saying,
Hard disagree on that
Ooh.
one.
please,
Question:
yeah.
Were the rights for Gandalf and Sauron different?
Yes,
Yeah.
because
Yes.
Gandalf is in the Lord of the Rings, and Anatar is not mentioned in Lord of the Rings.
No.
Okay.
Or the
Because
appendices.
Or the- right.
I feel like they did a really good job with both. Because like I feel like with the Gandalf one was just like we all knew and like
We're
stuff.
right.
Oh no,
But
no.
blue
People-
wizards.
People were
Oh, yeah, yeah.
convinced
Yeah, they were.
that he was a blue wizard.
That was so
Because-
tough. Like, why were you?
I got into like practically fist fights with people.
Sorry, were you? If anyone here was convinced.
I wanted it to
like,
be so. I wanted
yeah,
it. I wanted a blue wizard.
I knew it was Gandalf.
I do. I agree with you, Elise. I did also want a blue wizard because I kind of love the blue wizards because we don't,
I also love the blue wizards, but
especially
I
especially for people who really love Tolkien and like is deep in the lore where
Mhm.
where we know stuff and like we just want new lore. We want
Yeah.
new knowledge. Like that would be
Mhm.
really cool to know something about the blue wizards. I
It
was
also, yeah.
hoping for
there's
Yeah.
there's something that blew my mind that a friend sent me. They sent they were I think it was from the Unfinished Tales, where it's the part of the Astari, and it's
Mhm.
talking about the chief of the Astari, where there were 5, but like the way it's worded is there were more than 5 wizards that came over.
Yeah.
That I read the Unfinished Tales recently, and
Uh-huh.
even that didn't register with me, and I was like, holy shit, there's more than 5 Astari? There's a whole rainbow. I want to
Care
know
Bears.
what the
we're gonna paint with all the colors of the wind here.
Let's just make as many references to other things as we can. I love that so much.
I read the Unfinished Tales in high school and it's been a really long time.
Listen, I just had read it like maybe a month before my friend sent me that, and I was like, I didn't even catch that. Like, and I literally just read that shit.
I actually have the Unfinished Tales upstairs and I didn't even bring it down because I was like, I haven't read this in so long that I'm not even going to bring it down because I can't reference it.
Well, I mean, Elise was trying to reference Tales from the Perilous Realm, that note underneath, and I grabbed it to like find the note, and I was
No.
like, I'm gonna miss the story she's
It's-
telling, so I can't.
It's on fairy stories.
Yeah,
not
yeah,
Tales
no,
of
no,
Which
no.
is in
No.
Tales of the Perilous Realm.
Is it really?
Uh-huh.
It's at the back. It's at the
Yeah.
very back.
Damn, I missed that.
It's the last one because
Yep.
Tales from the Perilous Realm is Farmer Giles of Ham, On Fairy Stories,
Yeah. Roverandom.
Roverandom, Tom Bombadil, and
Leaf
Oh,
by Niggle.
yeah, that
Leaf
makes
by
sense.
Niggle. Yeah, that's right.
It makes sense
It's like,
that
I
it would be
literally just read this a month ago. Why am I not remembering this?
because I would read. I have the Tolkien Reader, which has Tom Bombadil and On Fairy Stories in there, so
Mhm.
that's probably why I missed that. Oops.
Yeah,
But no, it's such a good essay. So good.
it is. For those of you listening or watching who have not read it or listened to the audiobook version of it,
Got to do it.
do yourself a favor. It's so good, especially when they talk about like are fairy tales for kids or for adults. And I love when Tolkien says like they can be for both, but also if it's for
Yes.
children, like their clothes, it should leave them room for growing or growth.
Correct.
Yeah, I love that
Mm.
so much. Like it's basically like
Recovery,
it needs to be
escape,
about challenging.
consolation.
Yes, yes, it's fantastic.
I especially love like the notion of escape as not misunderstanding reality or trying to get away from reality, but finding a space within yourself to get out of your own head, as it were. Because yeah, of course, who wouldn't want to escape? Of course,
Right.
the prisoner wants to escape from jail. I mean, it's not the escape from reality and trying to ignore everything around you. It's just trying to escape from prison and hit my teenage heart so hard.
How old were you when you read that essay?
Oh God, no! I was an adult, but
Oh,
it
okay.
hit my inner teenage heart so
Okay,
hard.
okay, I misunderstood then.
No, I
Gotcha.
miss said words, things, and stuff.
No, it's all good. I want to backtrack real quick
Do
because the look on Jen's face when I said I liked the Gandalf, like I was fine with the mystery box of it because of how it ended. She looked like she wanted to jump through the screen and rip my face off,
Yep.
No,
but leave me alive
no.
so that she could watch, or that I could watch her like do some, I don't know, like she just
No,
like I
your
want
ears
to.
you keep, and I'll tell you
Yes,
why.
yes. To the pain.
I do
Anyways,
think I'm familiar with that phrase.
I'm curious as to why that was the reaction.
So I feel, and I want to disclaim that like I absolutely love the Rings of Power as an adaptation. I think they're wonderful. I literally like the posters that they released for season 1 of like everyone's hands. I picked like my 4 favorite ones and I have them blown up as 24 by 36 canvases on my wall. I love the Rings of Power, but I feel like the show cannot decide if it wants to be for Tolkien fans or for normies. And
Yes.
so they're trying to ride this line and thus are kind of not really making a show for either group of people.
That's fair.
As a Tolkien fan and as a Tolkien nerd, it's like I feel like we're a big enough and quite frankly ravenous enough group of people that like if you made it for just us, we would
We'd
consume
be
it
fine.
rabidly
Over and over and over.
over and
again.
over and over and over again.
The amount
And
of the amount of
so,
us that like reread the same book over and over again, or books.
the whole I just that's like really my biggest thing is like I just feel like they can't decide who they're making the show for, and I just want them to decide who they're making the show for.
And that's why you didn't like the Gandalf like
The mystery box thing. I also have serious gripes about the characterization of Tom Bombadil. Again, no shade to Rory Kinnear, but
See, now okay, all right.
It sounds like they employed like part of their team are Tolkien heads and then part are like non-Tolkien heads. They were like let's get people who are lore heads, and then there's like people who are like, but we need to make money and like get audiences who like make us money. You know?
No.
Like some of them are running businesses and then some of them are like nerds.
Yeah.
yeah.
So wait, why didn't you like Rory Kinnear's Bombadil? I love Rory Kinnear's Bombadil.
I love Rory Kinnear. Oh, sorry. You're talking.
No.
I mean, you can
Go-
you can answer it.
Yeah, by all means.
Yeah.
Oh, I love Rory Kinnear, but I thought his Bombadil could have been more mysterious. I thought that he did a good job, but I also thought like he wasn't very true to the book Bombadil. Like the book Bombadil was like so weird. Like kooky, like kind of like in the book he like I don't know, maybe this was my child brain reading it, but like the Bombadil in the book I felt like he was kind of jumping around a lot. Like I don't know, that was
very chaotic.
your impression. Like my impression was like he was kind of bouncing off the walls, and like the movie Bombardier
Fighter pilot from World War II Bombardier.
like he was so chill. He and the Bombadil in the book was like a little bit chaotic.
Oh yeah.
The Bombadil in the book cannot sit still. Like he's like my students with ADHD.
Yeah,
like just
yeah,
bouncing off the walls. Cannot
the hyperactive type ADHD.
The very hyperactive ADHD, not the early ADHD where you just stare into the void.
I guess maybe when I was a kid I was worse.
Sprightly, like a sprite, less like
yeah.
I don't know.
He also did not sing nearly enough.
He needed to sing more for sure.
Oh yeah, I did appreciate the song at the end. I love that song. I played
it's a great song.
Oh yeah.
Like mad props to Bear McCreary just in general. Like killer score. Like
I'm gonna take a drink to Bear McCreary.
But I will
I'll drink to that.
Yes.
I will say, and I think TJ, it was you that I was talking to in threads about the idea of Bombadil, that the theory that I love about of Bombadil in the books of him being part of the Ainur song.
Oh, was that the one we were talking about where Kaya talked about like they were
like what Bombadil is?
Well, yeah, did that stem from the conversation with Kaya K where okay, and I said that like, oh, it makes sense because of overtones?
Oh, I don't know if that so the question was like what Bombadil is, and we were like, I think he's part of the song.
Yeah.
Well, he is the master.
That's basically what I'm saying too. Because like overtones just exist in every single sound you hear, no matter what, even if you see it or not. Or I'm sorry, even if you hear it or not, there's always overtones. And that's like the way and Kaya K is the reason that like I was finally like, oh my god, that makes sense if you actually like equate Tom Bombadil to that. I mean, like not caring about like what Tolkien said in the letters and the fact that he was created before Lord of the Rings, but yeah.
And we literally had that conversation before the end of ROP, and then the song came out, and remember we came back to that thread and we were like, yo, like that's so crazy.
Yeah.
Not that makes that theory Like, I don't think that the show makers had any intention of like collaborating or any or confirming that theory at all. But I think
Right.
that like it goes back to like how the showrunners or the writers or whatever like are Tolkien heads and they have their own theories, and like that's
Right.
really a big theory, right? With Bombadil is like where he's from and what he is, and that's a big theory, right? Is like
Right.
part of the music, yes, whatever. But anyway,
Do you guys know the origin story of Tom Bombadil?
Wasn't it like a doll or
Tolkien
something?
specifically says in a letter like there is no.
Well, not of Tom Bombadil the character, but like how he got the idea for Tom Bombadil was this doll that his son hated and tried to flush down the toilet.
I haven't heard that story.
Oh yeah. Apparently Michael was like scared spitless of this doll that they had, and I don't know if it came with the name Tom Bombadil or what, but he tried to flush it down the toilet, and Tolkien was like, "Ooh, I can make a story out of this."
Yep.
And thus Tom Bombadil was born.
Annabelle.
Down the toilet and into Lord of the Rings. Wait, that doesn't sound right.
Not at all.
Out of the frying. Wait, what?
What?
Back to the Hobbit. I didn't mean to
Indeed.
disparage the Hobbit earlier. I'm drinking out of a Hobbit mug, Jen.
I know.
Never disparage the Hobbit.
Absolutely not. Bilbo's the best Hobbit, and that's like, listen, Peregrine Took is my boy.
Mhm.
Like
Peregrine
Bilbo-
Took is chaos.
It is
Peregrine
like
Took is Eru
He's a
the Avatar in
teenager,
clothes
that's what
full
he is.
like
my
in human
my
raiment.
greatest life dream is to be Bilbo. Like I just want to be Bilbo.
It's a
Like,
great.
just to
He has
have,
a
like-
great retirement plan.
Like just to have
Yeah.
fuck you money to
Yeah,
go
it's
be
called
like as
Yeah.
eccentric as
To
possible.
throw
Absolutely.
like bitchin' parties
Yeah.
and
yeah,
like give people gifts that are just like
It's
And then
exactly. That
and
was
then
like
the one day
that was prime writing right there. Like those notes and the gifts that he gave to his fellow hobbits,
and then just vanish. Yeah.
and then just
Heck
vanish.
yeah.
And he
Retire in Rivendell? Yeah.
yeah, big
Yeah.
Hold on.
F you
Hold
to Lobelia by
Oh,
say
yeah.
and best line. I mean, aside from the one that I quoted earlier, the best line in the entirety of the Lord of the Rings is Lobelia took the point. She also took the spoons.
Yeah.
I personally love Frodo did not offer her any tea.
That was
The
But-
shittiest. It's the
love
shittiest
that.
thing he could have done.
I
And it's
love
amazing.
shade.
I love that Tolkien like took the time out of this entire like he spent like we were just talking about how he wrote like his like all these stories, all these different books, like spent all this time thinking about all these different stories, but then he took also special time to talk about this feud between the Bag and
Shade.
the Lodelia Sachs family. Like how crazy is that? He's just
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna spend time drinking my tea and talking about how this fucking lady keeps coming by Bilbo's house and trying to steal his fucking forks.
And then at the end of the story,
Exactly.
she turns around and she's a fucking badass.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she tries to take on an entire army of ruffians with an umbrella.
He's
Yeah.
like, he needs a redemption story.
And like
because
that
everybody in my stories needs a redemption.
yeah. And that poor lady losing not only her husband and her son and her
But I mean,
son
Lotho
might have been eaten. Not even might have. That he's probably eaten. Like that's heavily implied. That's not even like kind of. That's heavily
Scary.
implied.
But
Effing
Lotho
scary.
kind of
Yeah.
sucks.
Here's a fun
I mean, there's a reason why he's called Pimple.
Jen, hold on. Who deserves to be eaten?
No one.
Okay,
But
okay.
I'm just saying, Lotho, like, it kind of
Wait,
sucks.
oh, here's a fun. Okay, wait.
It
Here's
sounds like you're trying to like just kind of like, man, whatever.
No, I'm just saying,
cannibalism.
like it's no great loss for Lobelia because her son sucks. Like,
Yeah.
here's a
Gia, go.
Yeah.
Gia, go.
Here's a potential trivia question. I don't
Yeah.
know the answer to this, but maybe Jen and TJ do, and maybe you Elise do.
Maybe.
Is there a character in Tolkien's work that doesn't have a redemption story?
Ted Sandyman.
Oh,
That's it.
you know right away. Okay, wait, who?
Ted
neith-
Sandyman.
Neither Melkor nor Sauron had redemption stories.
Well, I mean, they both.
But specifically, like, Ted Sandyman is truly like one of the most like holy evil characters.
Bro got hit in the
And
face by an apple.
I know Tolkien
That was
like
Bill
says
Ferny.
there's no such
wait.
thing as true.
Oh, that was Bill
evil,
Ferny. Thank
but
you.
Ted Sandyman took the beauty and the idyllic setting of the Shire and ruined it for money. Like, are you fucking kidding me?
And he
Fëanor also
laughed.
doesn't. Fëanor also doesn't get a redemption, unless you're looking at Dagorath. But like
Yeah.
within the Silmarillion itself, he
Arc-
doesn't.
Descendants kind of fulfill his Feanor's legacy is fulfilled in his descendants, right? Like that's his whole like.
Mhm.
They don't do the best things.
No,
We don't do the best things.
no, but his story doesn't end with him. Like that's like the
No.
No, his story technically ends with like Celebrimbor because we don't know what happens to Maglor.
right?
And we know what happens with Celebrimbor. So I guess like through Celebrimbor, he could have been
Redeemed.
redeemed.
Speaking of
Somewhat.
Maglor, ugh, I wanted Adar to be Maglor so bad.
Why?
So bad. I just wanted
You wanted
just-
Maglor to have been corrupted?
I mean,
That's the most musical boy.
Like, I don't know. I just like the whole thing with like him wearing a gauntlet on one hand and like his face being partially burned. I was just like, oh,
I heard rumors that people thought he might be Maedhros.
Most people I thought he was Mygleen because of the
yeah, I've
burns, because
heard
like the
that
fall of
one too.
Gondolin and stuff like that.
My
Yeah,
God.
I've heard that too.
It's like the
But
most fun conversation on Threads for a while.
Someone I did a live on TikTok the other day, and someone goes, "Hey, who do you think Adar was based off of?" And I was like, "I just did like he's based off the one of the first elves who got corrupted." And he was like, "No, which character in the Legendarium?" I was like, I don't think he. I think he's an amalgam of a bunch of different characters. Like personally,
fair.
He's a squish.
Okay,
he's a
I just,
squish.
I just feel like there were so many
Squish.
intentional choices made that for them to like not give us like anything was just like it was kind of one of those things where like they like built up all this stuff of like him like using like lisping, like
Oh
him
yeah,
using Alatariel, like all this stuff was like little bits for like the super nerds, and then they were like, oh yeah, he's just nobody. I'm like,
process of deduction, right? Like it couldn't be. Sorry, I'm drunk. Which one? Which
welcome. So am I.
Mathros or Meglin? Which one got stuck on the shore?
Mythros on the shore. That's my
Mythros.
on the shores.
On the shores.
That's Mechalaure and Maglor.
Okay, so Maglor, like it couldn't have been Maglor.
we just don't. Well, we don't know what happened to Maglor.
No,
He just
literally, we don't know.
we don't know. He
Okay,
just
so
wanders.
Fall of
Yeah.
Gondolin, like there's a like it mentions that like he got like he was stuck on the shore. He was wandering the shores, right, of the ocean. Like that's like what's left of him. Like he's like his spirit was stuck there or something.
Maglor?
I think that's what I'm asking you guys.
No, Maglor has one of the Silmarils, and he throws it. He casts it into the sea, and then
Mhm.
like just refuses to depart.
Okay, so maybe that's what I'm misremembering.
Yeah, we just don't know really. We don't
That's
really know
why
what
I'm
happened to
thinking
him.
that can't
Yeah,
be it.
he's left.
Because he's like not on the shore. That was my brain going there, but
Oh, okay.
Really,
No,
I just wanted them to establish Adar as like somebody. I don't know. I just feel
I
like there were
kind of
so
like
many.
that they didn't.
I don't know. I
We have
wanted
very
them to.
opposing views on this
Yeah.
show.
No, I just like that's like I just wanted them to. They just made so many very specific choices.
I do
Yeah.
agree that they kind of J.J. Abrams things sometimes where they're like, this is going to be important, and then sometimes
then
it
it's
just
not.
isn't. Well, actually, a lot of times it just isn't.
Yeah,
Or it's things that like are easily deductible,
I don't
deducible,
like red
deceptible.
herrings
I
and
don't know.
MacGuffins like as
I went
like
back and forth with like wanting to know who, like I wanted them to tell me if Adar was either Mathros or Maglin or whatever. But then after the fact, if I knew who it was, like this character from the Silmarillion or whoever that was a mystery before in my childhood, I would have hated it because
that's fair.
I didn't want Maglin or Mathros to die like that. Like that would have sucked.
Yeah, that's totally fair.
Well, I mean, to be fair, Mygleen got thrown from a cliff, so he died terrible anyways. And
Yeah,
Mythros
I didn't
cast
want
himself into a
Mythros-
fiery chasm.
I
Yeah,
didn't want him to be stabbed by a bunch of orcs betrayed like that.
yeah.
Very
It was a
Julius
rough end.
Caesar.
It is.
Yeah.
At two glue.
A2
Glug.
glue.
Too glug.
It sucked that Adar died like that because at the end I kind of liked Adar. Like
Oh, yeah, he was a great character.
Adar was one of the best additions to that
Yes.
show ever.
That was
Like
amazing.
that, just taking an idea that Tolkien wrestled with through for so long, and
Yes.
just like making a character on that and showing like what would happen had
Right.
one of those actual elves like persisted is
Okay.
amazing.
like for them to take the like a very Tolkien idea and condense it into that many episodes for somebody who has never watched Tolkien, for example, for a newbie,
Yes.
they could understand a very Tolkien concept in that many episodes that quickly. Like that's amazing.
Yep. 100%.
Straight to the heart.
Yeah. Yeah, Jen, you and me have like way opposing views on this show. It's kind of cool, actually, because like I really like Rory Kinnear's Bombadil. I like the ending of the Gandalf. I don't like the mystery box up to it because like it does make the audience, especially like the ones who know, feel
Mhm.
like they're treating us like idiots. But I know that's not their intention. Doesn't mean it's not right, or I mean, doesn't mean it's. I don't know how words work. It doesn't mean it's right.
Yeah.
There we go. Got it. I got there. I
Yeah.
got there in a
I was
minute.
picking up what you're putting down.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, I
I
can appreciate the illusions that they're making, but then
yes.
there are some cases where it's like, dude, just say it outright.
Yeah.
Like, just say the thing outright. We
Yeah.
don't need to guess at this.
I like when I do like the journey that season 2 Gandalf had. I
Yeah.
don't really care about season 1 Gandalf. Although of the Harfoot storyline, that's the only one I care about is Gandalf, Nori, and Poppy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, I think the rest of it was like fluff. Didn't really add anything.
Don't get me started on the Harfoots,
I
man.
hate that they did that to the Harfoot.
Because
Should we just have a Harfoot episode?
I
I'll
want
invite
a
you all back.
Harfoots I want a Harfoots spinoff.
I hate
I
that
want it to be a
They gotta-
totally separate show.
There we go. Okay, I was gonna say we'd have to make it better.
I want a totally separate show about the Harfoots, and I want to see the Harfoots making their way through Dunlin and Enidwife, making their way across the Misty Mountains, establishing the Shire, etc., etc., etc.
Oh,
I want to
absolutely.
see hobbits interacting with the dwarves in Khazad-dûm, like because that is canonical. I want to see that. I don't want to see it in Rings of Power because to
Yeah.
me there is still and there is so much that has been glossed over and there's still so much that needs to be told
Agree.
that trying to add the Harfoots for the sake of, oh, look, it's Lord of the Rings because there's hobbits is just detracting from the overall story of the Rings of Power.
I feel like I had this thought on the way home from work today about like having to like insert hobbits where they don't necessarily need to be. And I get that they're there because like they've been there since the Elder Days. I
Insert
get it.
joke here.
Yes, this is going to be a joke, by the way, everybody. I came up, so as someone, as an ADHD haver, I thought it would be funny to call people who can't watch anything Lord of the Rings without hobbits to say they have ADHD. Attention deficit hobbit disorder.
It makes sense.
Yeah. Can't say that I'm being mean about that because I suffer from it. Haha.
There you go.
Anyways, we could go on for hours and hours and hours about Rings of Power. I feel like I have to have all three of you back at some point
Joy.
because I do want to continue this conversation at some point. I just don't need to go for 4.5 hours like I did with David and Lee.
Hey, now I'm feeling ripped off.
Listen, do you want to stay and talk more? If you can, we will.
Well, I do have something to say to Jen about the Hobbit thing, though, because I feel like
say it.
important thing to talk about because I know I also agree with you about the whole Hobbit thing, erasure. Because Tolkien's all about the hobbits, right?
Mhm.
He is a hobbit.
Yeah, he is a hobbit.
In all but stature.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Also, too, like
God, we're such
I
dorks.
feel like he was, obviously like Lord of the Rings was all about hobbits. The Rings of Power, I feel like totally like flipped that narrative, which I think is cool. Like they're all about like elves and whatever. And I think that they did do a service in terms of just like showing how like Gandalf's like I guess creation story happened with
Mhm.
the Harfoot.
Yeah.
But
Like I love like sort of the explanation of Gandalf's like fondness for the halflings. Like
Right.
I like that bit, but like kind of beyond that, I'm like,
But I don't
spin-off.
appreciate how they didn't like I don't appreciate how they made it like it was like from his perspective versus theirs, like more so.
Mm.
Like they kind of didn't really like more of the screen time was like on him versus like them. And to be honest, when they were sharing the screen, like Poppy, the more interesting character in every situation.
Oh, I love Poppy.
Mm.
Obsessed with her.
Like she was like the most interesting person in every situation where the three of them specifically were like in the same shot. So I
Mhm.
thought that was interesting that they were just like, let's focus on Gandalf, like and the mystery of this guy or whatever. So I totally agree with you. Like I think that like that narrative should be explored more.
Mhm. Yeah, because I want to see those stories portrayed on screen. There's there's so much like allusion to like the Harfoots migration in Lord of the Rings Online, and like, you know, everything through Enid Wythe, and you get to like various places where effectively like hobbits, I mean, you encounter the stores wearing shoes, like, you know, you encounter so many different like hobbits that are dwelling outside of like the Shire / Bree land. And like I wanna see that. I just don't want that to detract from what I think is the primary storyline of the Rings of Power, which is everything around the Rings of Power.
Rings of
Like,
Power should
yeah.
have been 3 different shows.
yeah, I agree. At least 2.
Numenor should have been its own show, 100%.
I agree.
Oh yeah.
The Harfoots and Gandalf probably should have been their own show, and then you can combine it all at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Honestly, because then you just get more time with other stuff.
More
'Cause I feel
TV
like-
time. That's fine
Yeah.
by me.
I think
but
I
also,
think if they were gonna
there's 8 episodes that are only an
Yeah,
hour
exactly.
or a little over an hour long. That's
As
not
I need
enough.
more.
As
in
a
5
huge
seasons. In 5 seasons.
Yeah, as a huge Star Trek nerd, I'm like, if you're gonna tell a story in 7 seasons of 24 episodes that are each an hour long, yeah, fucking go nuts.
Yeah.
Tell the
But-
Harfoot storyline. Add the
Exactly.
fluff, add the filler episodes. But when you're telling a story in essentially 40 hours,
Yeah.
as opposed to literal hundreds,
Yeah.
you don't have time for filler episodes.
I agree 100%.
When you're telling
Can
a
I-
story as massive as Rings of Power, like,
Yeah. Can I just say though, when you said add the fluff, I just immediately had an image of tribbles falling through the ceiling.
exactly. But like
All the
I like-
tribbles.
yeah, tribbles.
So we will end it here. I would love to have all of you back. This has been incredibly fun.
Definitely.
Jen, I don't know if I can do this meet again.
Yes, you can.
It is actually really good, and it is insanely dangerous.
I told
um,
I warned you.
You were warned.
You did warn me. Thank you all for coming out. Nobody went anywhere. Thank you all for getting on your computers and hanging out and having some fun and having some very nerdy conversations tonight. I really appreciate all of you. Gia, where can people find you if they want to continue the conversation or have any questions for you?
On Threads, I guess. Gia Monster.
Can you spell that for everyone?
GUIA Monster.
Gotcha. Jen, where can people find you?
You can find me on Threads, Blue Sky, Instagram, and Twitch at Elvish_Groves. I guess technically Blue Sky is Elvish-Groves, but it's the same difference. And if you follow me on any of those platforms, you can also join my super fun book club Tolkien community Discord. That's very fun, and I am always happy to have more people there. So come
Yes,
and find me.
plug all the things. Absolutely. No, seriously, the more Tolkien engagement, the better, because like this community, like I've said before, is absolutely incredible. And
Agreed.
we should absolutely continue to grow this community and engage with as many people as we can. Elise, where can people find you?
So I'm on Threads and Instagram as well as Blue Sky. I have my own website, teachingwithmagic.blog. I also have recently joined Substack because my website went kablooey for a bit. So I'm reposting a few things on Substack, and I also have a podcast, Teaching with Magic, that can be found on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. It's about teaching and learning through fantasy literature, and I get to talk to all kinds of fun people on that show too. So always a fun time going out in the blogosphere and talking about our favorite things, all things fantasy.
All right. Well, thank you all so much for coming and hanging out tonight. I really appreciate all of you.
And we appreciate you.
We appreciate you.
All right. Have a good night.
Good night.
Well, that's going to do it for this episode of Tolkien on Tap. Thank you for listening. Be sure to like and subscribe and follow me on any of my social medias. I'm on Threads, Instagram, Blue Sky, and TikTok at _Meade. Namarie.